Hi all, very good morning.
Hey Ashish, good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So people are still yet to join. Okay, we'll wait. Okay. So meanwhile, while people joining, any query that you want to discuss? Today we are going to have okay, the data structure session. Okay. So what we have today. Right. Okay, no. Three. Okay, so we are at module 3 today. Get this things left behind. Okay. Stack heap, binary trees, binary management technologies, best practices, simple code. So for like today's session, naming convention is one different thing. I think comments we all know, right? Comments in the code is nothing but to write inside that hashtag, right? Comments or the documents format or the is inside the triple quotes. I think we already seen these things. So yeah, try code naming convention. But before that, this is important. This we are going to see the Python libraries who can make us understand these things. Stack heap. So guys, have you tried this Euclid's algorithm yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ashish.
Can you ping or can you share your screen one or two people so that all will see and try to see whether they also did the same or not, because like the code writing skill will vary from people to people. So to read the yes. Okay, can you try to explain like what you did so that
inputs used from the user,
okay,
namely number 1 and number 2.
Okay.
And I define a function called Euclidean algorithm, which has two arguments A and B. So while the condition this function, the while loop is functions until the B is not equal to 0.
Okay, that means this function will run till b equal to 0, right?
B not equal to 0.
Yeah, so when it will be b equal to 0, this function, this loop will stop.
It will return A.
Return A. Okay, got it. Okay, so B will store the remainder value of A and B, and A equal to B, B equal to this. Okay, B equal to this, then return A. Okay, great, great, great.
If I run this, yeah, it has two values. Let's say 12 and that is 6. Know that the GCD of 12 and 6 is 12. Sorry, 6. What
So
should
you are,
become?
so the GCD of 12 and 36 is 36. Is that the correct answer?
Yeah, that's.
So, so is it correct, guys?
No, it's correct. So 12 should become.
Yeah, so like we'll open the questions for other people. So guys, can you understand and can you see this is correct? Those who
Yeah.
are,
It should be 12.
Yeah, it should be 12.
yes. So what you are returning here is what is that you are returning? Returning A, right?
Yeah.
So when you return A, can you see this is 36 you are returning? The GCD should be what? Of 12 and 36 is 12, right?
12, yeah.
So what modification you need to do in your code then?
Okay, let's share others. Let's see.
Yeah, you can stop.
I will stop my screen.
Let
Yeah.
me share mine now. I think I've used this. I've not used any function and all those, but I hope this was working. Yeah, let me know if you can able to see my screen, Ashish.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've just gone through your question. I have not did any modification or I have not used any function over here. So you've asked me to use A equal to 60 and B equal to 48. And 48 is not equal to 0. So that I supposed to check the value is equal to 0 or not. If it is equal to 0, then the function will not work, right? So that I've checked it. And the reason why I've used the while loop is because of the for loop will not able to change the values in while iterating, right? So that because of that, I've used the while loop here. And I'm just checking the condition, it is not equal to 0. And then, so we compute the remainder when is 60 is divided by 48. So that, which means in here, it will be more clear. If it is not equal to 0, compute the remainder when A is divided by B. So that A is divided by B means let the R be the remainder. So that I'm using R equal to A divided by B so that the remainder will be stored in R. And then replace A with B so that A equal to B. I am just assigning the B value into A. So the max function will work like from right to left, it will assign the value, right? So that I'm using it. And then replace B with R so that I'm replacing the value B equal to R. And then I'm just running this loop, then it'll doing its work, and then D equal to A. So the reason why I've used D equal to A is because I'm just interchanging the values so that this loop will continuously work, right? So that R equal to A, so that A value will be automatically changed from 48 to 12, and then the things will happen so that the B will be automatically 0 in once upon a time, right? So that the condition will not work. Then I'm just using like even I can print the A, but still I'm just using D, and then I'm giving that GCD of numbers D.
Okay. But you should write it in inside a function and call that function that we are going to see today's session, because that is called a dry code. Okay, we'll see that. So yeah, that's great. I think Abdullah, right? Abdullah, that's nice. You also did a good job. But the thing is, you have to write inside a function and you should return. So for Abdullah's code, I think there's some little modification you need to do, because you are returning the largest number, like from 12 and 36, you are returning 36. Why should it should be 12, right? So bit of modification, but I got like your logic, you are getting it. Try to do it, in a function.
Okay.
Any other people who wants to share and explain? Like how like you should write a code like that should be, user friendly, or whoever will see your code, they should understand what you are doing. That is also one part of writing a good code or a robust code. Okay, I think now you got the answer, like how it is running, like the logic you got, right? So you already started using while loop. That is a great thing, because while loop is something uh, very very, you need to understand that properly, or else you will be like in confused state of mind. But a little bit of modification. Okay, great guys, nice. I'm really glad. Okay, so what we are going to see today, this is the data structure and few of the practices that you are going to follow. So why we need data structure? Do you know, guys, why we need to a data structure? What is the benefit why we're learning this?
We can recollect the data in a perfect manner or easy manner.
Right. To say that, to add to that line, like as per our requirement, right? So we have the data. We should organize the data in such a way that whenever you want to retrieve as per our requirement, suppose you are storing the data of someone's, like the browser history data, like we are browsing through Chrome, Firefox, anything, the browser history data we are storing. Now, can you tell me what should be the storing procedure here so that we'll get the data? Whether we should get the data from past 30 days, or we just need to store the data with recent dates? Like I'm telling about.
Ashish, sorry to cut you off. Are you sharing
Yeah.
a screen or what?
No. I've not shared it.
Okay.
And actually, I should also. Like, okay. So if you see here, the data structure. So can you tell me, if you are storing the browsing history of the users, whether we should store the data in a decreasing date wise order or increasing date wise order? Did you get my question, right?
Yeah, in an increasing way, right? Day by day it has to be stored.
Increasing,
6, 7, 8, yeah. 6, 7,
okay.
8, 9, 10.
So that means whenever you want to retrieve the data, you should retrieve the recent one, because that's what it is doing, right? In the browser, if you click this back button, in the most recent page you visited, that is going to be coming in front of you. So that means you are storing your data like the newest first, right? Now, why I gave this example, because the data structure that we are going to see today, that is called stacks. So stacks is a linear data structure that follows last in, fast out. That is called LIFO. Last in, fast out. So to understand stack, what we need to understand here is a simple diagram. Consider this is a bucket. Now we put something here first. Then again we put something here. Then again we put something here like this. So can you tell me, if this is a bucket, what is the first item that I am going to remove? This top one? So this top one I put at the last, right? So first I put this in the bucket, then this, then this, then this. So this last one, when I'm going to remove something from the bucket, I can't directly reach to the last item. It's not possible, right? Because it's a bucket. So what I'm going to do, I need to remove the last item that I added. Then after removing this, then I will remove this item, then this item, then this item, right? So this principle is called as last in, fast out. That means which is you are going to put at last, that is the first item that you want to move from the bucket. So this is the concept of stack data structure. That means if you are telling me that I am following a stack data structure to store my data, that means I will understand it is LIFO principle. Now let's try to understand few of the basic operation here. Okay, a stack has few operations, basic operations. So what we are going to do, we'll try to understand what this is. Then we'll try to implement this through code and try to understand whether we are, achieving the same or not in terms of class and all. Okay. So first, a few basic operation for a stack. This is very, simple to understand here. So when you have a bucket of, like, consider, take this example of bucket, and I'm going to call that as a stack. So when you want to add some item in the bucket, that item or that basic operation name I'm going to give as push. Okay, if I want to remove one of the item, then that operation I'm going to give as pop. So now in Python, pop means if you, this is a method actually. If you will call for any list or something, when you call this property, which is there, this method pop. So pop, what it does, it will delete the last recent item, the top of the item from the list or anything that you added. Okay, so with same concept, I'm giving the name here pop. That means what I'm going to do, removes the element from the top of the stack and returns to it. In the bucket, if I want to remove something, how I am going to remove? I will remove the top item first, and I'm giving that operation or that action, the name is pop. Push means add, pop means remove. Now, what do we mean by pick? Pick means don't remove or don't do anything, just see it, what is at the top. Or we were looking on top of that bucket, what is on the top. So this operation I'm going to give as pick. Now another method or another operation I am going to use here is empty. So this method will return me a Boolean value, true or false, and true when the bucket or the stack is empty. Okay, and false if some items are there. Now it is easy to understand. Any query on this? Okay. Now here see, like push means I will add to this bucket. Pop means I will remove the first item. Okay. Then pick means I won't remove or I won't push. I'll just see what is on the top. Okay. And this is your top of the stack. This is the bottom of the stack. Okay. Now, what is the use cases or application to learn these things? The example that just now I gave you. A web browser uses a stack to store the history of visited pages so that the user can back to the previous page by hitting the back button. So this is based on LIFO principle. The last page you visited, that is the most recent page. That is the page that you want to go if you want to hit the back button. This is one of the examples. There are many examples, but I try to get this one example, which you can consider to store the history of your web browsers in a data structure, stack data structure. Now, whatever we just discussed, let's try to implement that through code. And we all know this. This is very easy now for you to understand. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to define a class. So now see in Python, two things. Either you write the code from scratch, or you can use some pre-built Python libraries. Now there are some pre-built Python libraries for these things, okay, which is already having this methods and whatever we discuss is already there. But that is not enough. Let's try to understand from the scratch what is happening behind that module or that code. Simple thing, nothing fancy or rocket science here. Just a few classes and methods, that's all. And whenever you need this, you call the methods. So let's try to understand. We created one class called stack. Okay. Now if you recollect this, what is this? This INIT?
Constructor.
Right. So this is going to help us to create the object from this class. Okay. And can you see where here I am giving only self? What does that mean?
that it's acting like a thread that the attributes we can connect through the self.
That means there is no parameters you can pass in. This is just there is no parameter you need to call while calling this class. No arguments, just self. Okay, just self, no arguments. That is fine. We need not to provide any arguments for this one. It is telling us that this has no argument to be passed while creating objects from this class. Okay. And what it is containing? It is containing a self.start. That means a empty list. That means it is creating the bucket, empty bucket for us. Empty bucket for us to do what? To add the item, to remove the item, to see the item, like that. Now, if you remember one operation we called as push, right? To add, push. Now this is a what? This is a function, or this is a method of this class, right? Now what this method will do? This push method will append the value to the bucket or to the list that we created. So whenever we are so what we are going to do? We are going to create the object from this class, okay? And once the object is created, we are going to call this push method. So when we call this push method, whatever value will give, suppose we want to add 5 to the empty stack, then how we are going to call this method? The object dot push, then 5 we need to give as argument. And whenever we give that value is going to be appended to the empty list. Okay. Another operation what we discussed, that is pop, right? So again you are defining the method called pop. So here pop means you should remove the latest element or the top element. So here you need not to give any argument. That's why again this method or function also has no argument. But one more thing, it is calling an internal method is empty, which is we are going to define at last. So pop method will call an internal method called is empty. Now what? So before this, let's understand what is empty. Very simple. This is also one method to this class. Where what is it is returning? We saw Boolean value, right? So this method should return a Boolean value. That means what we are doing? Return length of the stack equal to 0. So if the stack is empty, it is going to return what? True or false?
True.
And are you getting right? If the stack is like length, means it is checking what is the length. So if the length is equal to 0, that means this condition is true.
Yes.
Okay. So this pop method is calling internally this is empty method. And this pop method only will work for this condition if is empty is false. Making sense? Not so when I say if not self dot is empty, what I'm referring here, that the stack should not be empty. When it is empty, it will return what? True. Not true means false. So if this satisfies, that means the stack has some element inside it, then it will pop. Here this pop and this pop is different. You know why? This pop and this pop is different, because this pop is the list method. Like if you create a list, okay, I'll show you. So suppose how to create a list quickly, guys. Okay, and if I will print my list, what should be the result? Now see, this is the original code. Now see what I'm going to do. If you write pop in collab, you will get auto suggestion. Now if I'll run this, can you see what happened? That means it removed. Now what I'm going to do, I will show you. Let's see, it is containing. Now can you see what happened, guys? This is my list which contains number from 0 to 9. I used a method of my list object. Now this object created from what? From list class. Now this pop method is inbuilt inside the list class. So when you call something like this pop, that means the recent or the last element of the list will be removed. And now if you print the list, what is left? 0 to 8. Okay, so here same thing we are calling. We are defining the pop method here, but here this pop is belongs to this list object. Are you getting here? Or any query on this? Making sense, right, guys? So the thing is, when you call this dot pop, that means call from the list or remove the last item from the list. Okay, and if it is empty, then this condition will not satisfy. So else return none. If your stack is empty, so what I'm going to return? None. Right? Now what other operation we discussed? Pick. So pick means again it will check whether this is empty or not. Okay, and return what? It will just print the last element of the list. That means the topmost element of the list. Just pick. Don't do anything. Just see what is on the top. That's all. So with this piece of code, we defined a class for stack. Now, once we created the stack, what we do usually, guys, we'll create objects. Let's try to create that. Any question till now?
No, sir.
So
Thank you.
this is empty. This one is like inbuilt. So we just call this, it will check.
This one, right?
Method is empty. Yes.
So see, so this is we are writing from the scratch. Actually, you are learning the coding, from the scratch. You can now tell to anyone, I can write a stack class and create objects out of this. I don't need any Python objects for this or any Python inbuilt library for this. So those Python libraries that you are importing, those are nothing but some expert developer wrote this kind of code in the background. And once that is written, you are just using its method. By importing the module, you are importing the class, then all the methods, everything. So instead of writing this code from the scratch, it is already written. We are borrowing that and started using. But here you are learning how to write it from the scratch. This is the scratch code. Now this is your stack implementation. You are not using anyone's code. So this isEmpty is not inbuilt. You define the class. Now you are defining the method inside it.
Okay, and this method you're calling it in the pop function, pop method.
So internally we are calling this isEmpty method in the.
Okay, yeah, understood.
Okay.
And Ashish, also in a def peak self, you're giving that object, and then if not self is empty, if it is not empty, it was returning self stack -1. You have passed as in like value, right? What is it?
Okay. So I should not have removed that. What is the command to restore the deleted cell? Control MZ. Okay. I recovered every cell. Now, what this is doing? So now you understood how this result is coming. 0 to 8, right? Yeah. Now see what is you are going to return if we write this. So this is list slicing. If you see, this will return what? The last element. Now what is the last element in my list? That is 8. If you want to access the second last element, what you need to do?
-2.
Easy, right? So Python is like, that's why it is very easy to understand, and that's why people are attracted towards it. Now see, my list -1. So here I'm not doing anything with 8. I am just getting what is the value, like picking
Okay,
something.
so for list slicing, we have to consider the numbers from the right
If you
to
want to
left,
access,
like
if you want to access
using
from the,
-1.
yeah, so if you want to access this from the last or from the back of the list,
Okay, so the
right?
list slicing is mostly used for what? As just like that term.
So list slicing is nothing but it is for you to play with the list. How you want to retrieve the data from the list, that is called list slicing. So suppose I have number of people listed, like names of the people of my company listed in a list. Okay, I want to
Mhm.
know who are the top 10 people, like who are stored that in the list, or if I want to know who are from 20th index to 30th index, who are the people who are from 20th, like the name got stepped from 20th index to 30th index. So there,
How can we do that? Like for one thing, we can find like for 20 to 30 index. How
so
do we do
guys,
that?
haven't we gone through this list slicing?
Yeah, like on that
You
first two
remember something
sessions.
like this?
No, no. On this first two sessions, I was watching the recordings and stuffs only,
Oh,
so
okay,
that I
okay,
get to.
okay, okay. I'll tell you. So
Yeah.
list slicing is something like this. And in a intuitive explanation I'm giving you. If you see here, if I want to access the elements from the first element to what? What we mean by this last index? So can
It
you
will
tell
give
From
me?
this to this.
Yeah, from this to this to
-1.
this.
Last
So
index minus.
this
2, 0
last
to
index
2.
correct, guys. So the last index should be always that means you are accessing 0, 1, and 2 index. You should not be including 3 because indexing will
Yeah.
start from. So if we'll do like this, what will happen? What I'll get? First 3 element.
Okay.
Okay. If I want to access third element to fifth element, so what is that? 3, 4, 5. So what should I give here? 6. Okay, that means 0, 1, 2.
Two
I
to
am see 0, 1, 2. Then
yeah.
3 this one, right?
Okay.
3 to 6. That means 3, 4, 5. Because 6 is not going to be included. So output should be 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And again, if you want to access from back, then this is the input.
Okay.
-3 to, like, see what is happening here. -3 to -1 means this -1 is not going to be included, right? And this means -3 to -2. What is -3 here? -1, -2, -3. -3 is 6. And -3 to -2. That means -1, -2, 6 and 7. Tell me what is the index number for this two to be accessible quickly? 4 and 5.
Yeah.
What should I write so that I'll get 4 and 5?
5 is to 6, right?
No. Like we use a negative index.
Oh, negative index. Okay. 2, 3,
So this
4,
is
5.
-1, this is -2, this is -3, this is -4, this is
-5.
-5. So -5 to -6.
No, -4, right?
3. That's 3.
-3. So if I'll say -3, that means what? -1, -2, -3, and this is -4. That 4 and 5, if I need to access, I have to give it -3. Okay, great. Now let's see whether we are accessing 4 and 5 or not. Clear, guys? Okay. Where were we? Okay. This one. Now, once we created this start class, let's try to create the object. And how to create the object, if you remember? I'll clear this result. This is the object name, and this is how I'm calling the class. Because this class doesn't take any argument while creating the object in the constructor method. That's why what I'm doing, I'm calling this like this, stack, then I'm not giving any arguments over here. Okay, so this is how, so now what is my object? Which one is stack one is my object. Now using this stack one object, I can call this all methods that I have written. Now what is the first method to add? That is push, right? Push. Now I push 1, then again I push 4, then again I push 8. So as per the logic of stack, what should be at the top?
8.
8. And if I will pop the item, what the item should be popped out? 8, right?
8.
And if I'll call the isEmpty method, what should it return after popping one element? True or false?
False.
False, because there are already 4 and 1 in it, right? We only popped one item. Now if I'll do pick, then what item should be displayed?
4.
Okay, great. That means you are getting it, so I need not to be worried here. Correct. So pop will remove 8 fast. So basically this stack is all the property resembles with list here. If we'll use list all and do pop and all, then again same thing. But
One more doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Can we pop the topmost position? Can we able to pop the middle position?
So to pop the middle position, what you need to do? You have to write another pop here. So this pop will remove what? This pop
8.
will remove 8. Then this pop will remove 4. Okay.
So like, can we use the index to pop the particular element?
Yes, you can do the index, but that is how not you want to design your stack. So stack means LIFO principle, last in, first out.
Okay.
So
if you want
pop
to,
is actually designed to actually like remove the last element from the list, right?
This pop.
Yeah, so if you actually add an index to that, there is no logic to the pop.
Correct. But yeah, you can do also. If I will, again, Control MZ. Okay, so if you see here, okay, that is also one good example here. So this is my list. If suppose I want to pop a particular index from here using this, what I need to do, what I'm going to do, suppose I want not, I don't want to remove 9, I want to remove 0. How to do that? So if we'll give 0 here, and if you see, list will be starts from 1. So you can pop a specific item by passing the index number. That is also you can do. Suppose I want to delete or pop 2, what I need to give, this is my new list here. So this is my new list here. If I want to remove 2, what I need to give here?
1.
Let's see. Right? And after removing, what is my list? 1, 3, 4. So you can do that. But here we are not doing this because this is not why we're creating this. So if we need to do that, then we will directly use list. What is the use of stack? So stack.
Okay, and also like whenever we were giving the index values, the Python has a default of -1, right? That negative indexing, so that we have to give, we have to access, if you want to access the eighth one, we have to give 9, right?
Correct. But here we are not going to do it by index because this is not what in stack means.
Yeah, in stack,
LIFO principle. LIFO principle means last in, first out. So if you consider this logic, here by default, this should be the last element to be removed from the stack. So clear, guys, about stack, how this is working?
Yes, sir.
Great. So I'm going to delete again. Okay, if will require, I'll again press Control MZ. Okay. So this is one thing. Now here there is one inbuilt library in Python called collection.dq or collection DQ library. If we'll run this library, so whatever we wrote this, no, whatever we wrote the code here, the logic here by defining the class, this library also defined the same thing, and we are just borrowing it. So if you don't write the code from the scratch, you can import this predefined library, and again there is some, you need to go to the documentation to read how this is working. So here the push operation is not there. Instead of that, we have append. Append means keep adding, and again this has the pop operation also. So if you see here, I call this module, I created an object, okay, and I kept adding 3 elements, 1 2 3, and when I pop these things, what is the first element? 3 2 1. So the point is here, instead of writing the whole code from the scratch that we just now saw, you can also use some predefined library in the Python to achieve the same thing. Okay, so this is why I wanted to give you this example. There are predefined libraries already are there, is written by someone with proper, this kind of code was written in the background. Now if I'm writing this code, if I'll write pick underscore, then this is also fine. But whenever I am going to create an object, I have to call pick underscore method. Now this is up to me, what is the naming convention I'm going to give inside my class, because I developed this code. Same thing is here. Someone already developed. You just need to understand what is the naming convention that person gave, like the method names, okay, the parameters he is passing, what type of parameter he is passing. That's all you just need to study from the official documentation. Making sense, right? Okay. Now,
excuse me, sir. That
yeah.
stack is a name of the class. That DQ is the what is this?
Mod. So see, this is the class. Stack is the name of the object. How we are creating here. Stack 1 we created here, right? Using by calling the class. So this is the object we created by calling the class, and after creating the object, we started calling its method.
Okay.
Same thing is happening here. You are creating one object here by calling the DQ class. So now here we name, because we wrote this code, we gave the name as stack, right? That person who wrote the code, he gave name as DQ. Okay.
So from the collection library, we were using the DQ module, right?
Correct, exactly. So nothing different. Someone written the code like we did here. Okay, and we are just calling the class and creating object out from that class. That's what we're doing. We are just taking the help of someone's code. That's all. Okay. So now this is star concept. Now there is a concept called tree. Okay, so general. So I just want to show you this image so that you yourself tell me what is the difference between, this is a general tree diagram, this is a binary tree diagram. Can you see what is the difference here?
In general tree, more than one elements are coming out of one particular element, and in binary tree only 2 are coming.
Binary seems a little, ordered and ordered and clear, but in general tree there is lots of classes and subclasses where getting
so so simple understanding. You are correct, guys. So the main difference is every node. So now here one terminology you are not need to understand here. This is calling as nodes. Okay, this round circle, nodes. Okay. And every node is kind of a parent, and whatever coming outside of this node is called, or those things are called as children. So those things coming out of this round circle called node are children, and the nodes itself called as parents. And the first one, which is at the top at both the image, it is called the root node, the main node. Okay, the root node. So here you guys are correct. What is happening here? In binary tree, from each single node we are having 2 children. From every parent there is 2 children. But here there is one children, two children, many children, that doesn't matter. So this is actually, so that's why we, there's the proverb is correct. A picture is equal to thousands of words. So instead of reading the theory, that's why I always promote use Google search images, because there you will get the results quickly and understand also quickly. And binary tree is a tree data structure in which each node had at most 2 children. So when I say at most, what does this mean? What do we mean by at most?
Maximum.
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 Maximum, and that also compulsory. Okay, you should be having 2 children. That is called at most. If you have 1 children, I'm not going to call that a binary tree. Okay, and when you have 2 children, the left hand side children called left child, right hand side children called right child. Here we are not going to discuss about generality, because this is generality, as the name suggests, right? Each node can have arbitrary number of children. Each node in a generality can have 0 or more children, rather than being restricted to having at most 2 children. So it can have 1 children, can have 2 children, can 0 children. But, and one more thing, if we are calling this tree, then again we have to call something as leaves, right? Because we are calling this tree. So the last childrens of the tree, it is the root, and it went downwards, and the last children of the tree are called leaves. So these are few concepts you need to, or other terminologies that you need to keep in mind while we're talking about trees. Okay, so when there is an algorithm called decision tree, okay, random forest in machine learning, so those will be based on trees concept. There you will understand this kind of thing. Here, what we call this A to E and F, this height is called depth of the tree. Okay, this vertical depth is called depth of the tree. If we'll see horizontally, this is called breadth of the tree. So in those model, you are going to see all these terminologies again. Okay, and you will be able to tell what is leaves now. This is the last children. Okay, that means after which there is no children. These are the last children. So these are few the things. Again, let's try to. So here the heaps data structure we are not going to implement from the scratch, because that is too complex, and I don't think you guys need that complex coding here. But instead that you just need to understand how this works. Okay, please be careful. Now like pay attention. Okay, so heap means two kind of heap. So what we mean by heap here? Heap is a complete binary tree that satisfy the heap property. What is the heap property? There are two types of heaps: max heap and mean heap. Now what happens in a max heap and what happens in a mean heap? So the tree structure is here. Okay, so these both are binary tree, that you agree, right? Or any other thinking? So this both the tree I'm showing here, these are binary tree.
Yes, it is.
And mean heap means, okay, I'll tell you the intuitive explanation here. Mean heap means whatever the parent or the root node, that should containing the minimum value of all the trees. Like inside the value that we have storing in the trees, the parents will keep the lowest value or minimum value than its children. That is called mean heap. So when you are going to store the structure like this is called mean heap. Whereas what is happening in the max heap? The parent value should be maximum than its children value. So this is called max heap concept. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Mean heap and max heap. So when the root element, or if you see the parent element and if you see the children element, the parent element or the root element, this value would be minimum always. Now can you think of something where we can use this in real life scenario, where this kind of data, in which industry or in which sector or anywhere we can use this kind of data, mean heap and max heap? Just think, try to think for a bit. So here, when I say root node will contain minimum time or root node will contain maximum value, so what does that mean? Like try to understand, suppose we are giving priorities based on the waiting time of a patient. So whom we should treat first? Though that patient who waited for a long time. Then again, who the second long time the patient waited, we need to treat that. So for to store this kind of data, we can, which heap we are going to use? Max or min?
Minimum heap.
So minimum heap. All agree with this? Yeah, good that you try to understand. So again, like the thing is, I'm just talking about a live usage or real life usage of this, because that's what I want to understand here. Like what we are learning here. Is there any use cases in real life?
So, but Ashish, you are contradicting your statement, like saying like we are using the LIFO methodology.
I didn't get that. Sorry.
No. You said in the a little earlier that LIFO is a method that we are following. Correct?
No. Okay. So that LIFO is for stack. Here we change. So see, this is for stack. This is one type of data structure. Now we are studying about trees, general tree and binary tree. So this is another type of data structure. I'm really sorry guys if you got confused here. Okay, let me tell. So this is one data structure, LIFO principle, and this is one type of data structure that is called binary tree.
Okay, there are two different things. Okay.
Two different things. So so today we are going to see stack, binary tree, and queue. Three different type of data structures. So this queue is something else. This is FIFO principle, fast in, fast out. We'll see that. Okay. So three data structures we are going to see today. One is binary tree, that means heaps. One is stack, one is queue. Okay. Please guys, get it clarified if you have something like this, or else like this will get confused. Now this,
excuse me, sir, that heap data structure you have given the real-time example. Now can you come again once?
So when I say, so let me see whether I have written that examples. A hospital triage system might use a priority queue to prioritize patients based on the severity of their condition. Now for the severity of their condition, which queue structure or which heap structure I should use? Maximum. So because based on the severity, if severity is maximum, we are going to keep that patient at top.
Class monitor. Okay.
I can hear some sweet voices here of some baby. Really good. Okay, so that means the severity. If the severity is high, you have to keep that patient on top. Right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
So another example is an operating system scheduler which uses a priority queue to determine which task should be given priority for execution on a computer CPU. Like this, so many things, like in so many way you can store the data for this kind of data structure, max heap and min heap. Let's try to understand with I'm not going to the coding scratch of this, because this is going to be too complex for you. But if those who are going for SD role in these things, I think they need to practice the scratch code. Okay, if you need this, please let me know, I'll provide you. Okay, and with explanation, so that
can we aim for L2 or L1 or directly L3 only?
When you say L2, L3, that SD role you are talking about, right?
No, see, like the L3 is like the bottom of the pyramid, right?
Oh, okay,
The,
okay. Okay,
the
here you are
roles.
saying it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So when you see L3, this one you're referring to? Oh, okay. So what is your question in terms of L1 and 2 and L3? Can you come again? Sorry, I didn't.
No. See, like what I was trying to ask you here is like after the duration of the course, what kind of roles can we aim for, like L3,
Oh,
L2?
okay. Okay. So see, that's why. So after completing this course, you have enormous, opportunity. Now, as per your interest. Now, if I'll talk about myself, I have bit interest in, computer vision. Now, computer vision is a different field. NLP is a different field. Data scientist position is also a different field. Then your data engineer is also one different field. So by completing this course, you will get an overall idea about all these things. Now, it is up to you which field is like interested to you, towards you. And that also depends on the current working environment, guys. You have to think about relate your current working environment, whether you want to change that completely or you like this work and do some modification. Suppose you are doing an analysis or this thing currently in your work environment, then go for
Presently,
a data
I'm a
scientist.
SAP finance consultant.
Pre-finance consultant. Then for you,
SAP.
Okay. So then for you, the data scientist role will be perfect because you are going to analyze your financial data, right? You have nothing to do with computer vision or natural language processing here. So for you, like DB related or analytical related, because when you go for DS role there, here we'll analyze your data. You'll do the exploratory data of your financial transactions.
Okay.
And this is going to help you in your work environment so that you can show, okay, this is the meaningful insights of our financial data.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's try to understand the heap concept here, guys. Like here, it will be. Please pay attention and please mark my words. Okay, because I am also want to give you the best thing here. So how this is happening? So suppose. So can you tell me what is the position here? So this is the 0th index. This is the, so always try to understand how this is work. So I'm talking about mean heap here, okay? Mean heap only, not max heap. So for mean heap, at this position means the 0th index, what should be there? The minimum number among all the numbers, okay, should be at the top. This is 0th index. And if you will try to understand the scratch code, there one logic you will find, which is called how to know the next index of this. So this is I equal to 0. What is this index? 1. So the left hand side will be 2 into I plus 1. That means this is the position for left child. This formula or this calculation is the position of the left child. What should be the position for right child? Two into I plus 2. So when what is I here? I will vary starting from, I will vary from 0 to the till last layer. So when I equal to 0, this is the layer. When I equal to 1 and I equal to 2, this is the layer. So tell me, when I equal to 0, what is the position or what is the index number of its left child?
15.
So I am going to so correct. So when I will be based on the parent node. So this I position is going to vary for the index number of the parent node. Okay, so here the parent node, how many parents are there? Only one. And what is the parent node I value? That is equal to starting from 0. Now left child to this parent will be 1, right child to this parent will be 2 as per this formula. Now tell me about this parent. Now this circle is now one parent. Now for this parent, what is the I value?
40.
Sorry?
3. Left child
Okay.
will be 3 for 15.
Left child will be 3 for that. But I am asking about the I value here. I got, you are correct. So you have to find the I value.
1. I value is
Correct.
1.
Correct. Correct. So I value is 1 here. And what is the I value for this parent element? I equal to 2. Now, if I want to calculate the left child index of this I equal to 1, what is the index number? Put in this formula. When I equal to 1, this is 2 into 1 plus 1. That means this is 3. And if we put this formula, this is 4. Similarly, for I equal to 2, what is the position for index number for the left child? 5. And for this one, 6. Now, this is how this works actually in the background.
So Ashish, here I want to ask you one question. Say for example, if I'm viewing on the screen, my left and right is different. Say if I'm coming from the perspective of the tree, then 30 will be left and 15 will be right. So how do I clear this confusion? So 30 will be left when you say. So no, say like from the point of the figure only I'm telling. Say if from the point of the figure, on the left side end of the figure is 30 and right side of figure is 15. And say for example, from my perspective from the screen, 15 is left and 30 is right. So there is some ambiguity here, right? So you want to swap these values, these two values? No. You didn't read my question. Yeah, what I'm asking is, say like on my screen, left right is different. From the perspective of the tree, left right is different. From okay. So when you see, no, don't think like that. Don't get confused. Consider you are looking at the screen and this side is left and this side is right. That you need to keep. Don't get confused. Okay. So always think when you are looking at a screen, this is the left side and this is the right side. This you keep in mind, and it will be clear to you. I got your question, like that also valid question, but yeah, we have to conclude something which is standardized for all, right? So we standardize. If you look at the screen, this will be left, this will be right. Yeah, I got your question.
So far it will always be in a systematic order, that is left to right.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Always in this order. So here, what will happen when you if you remove something, what will happen then? How this is going to be adjusted? So if you remove something, so suppose I remove 10, can you see what will happen? Which will be the root node now?
15.
Correct. So when we say 15, how this is going to be defined? 15. Okay, this is now 15. We removed 10. So now, what is the index number for this? This is 1, this is 2. And here I need to, what value I need to store after 15? Tell me. 30. And how that is going to be decided? There is some internal, so from the scratch code, that's why it is too complex. So there is some predefined function called heapify up and heapify down. So that heapify up, so when you remove something from the top, that heapify up will be considered and it will check whether the number is smaller to the parent element or not. If the number is smaller to the parent element, then the number will be swapped. Because as per mean heap concept, what should be at the top? The minimum value. Okay, so that's why 15 will come here. Then the next minimum value will be at the left child, that is 30. Right? And what should be the right child?
40.
40.
Now here, what should be the left child for 30?
50.
You have another 40.
Okay, 40.
We have another 40 here. 40,
50.
then right child
50.
50. And here the left child will be
100.
Now this structure is okay. All the minimum value is at the parent node.
Like, can you please come again, Ashish?
Okay, so I removed 10. Now rearrange this all the numbers in a mean heap tree or mean heap structure. So after I remove train, what should be the minimum value across this tree? 15.
Yeah.
So I kept that as a root node. Now left child will be the next minimum here, which is at index 1. This is index 2. So index 1, what should be the next here among here? 30.
30, yeah.
So that is at here. Then in the right child, what I need to keep? The next element.
Smallest one.
Smallest one is what?
40.
Right? 40, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
kept 40 here. Then again, this is done. This parent have now their children. Now,
Okay.
what about 30's left child? So what we are going to store? So always remember the children values will be more than its parents. Right?
Okay.
So if you will keep 30 here, what should be the left child? 40. What should be the right child? The next element, which
Smallest,
is more than
yeah.
that, 50. And what about this parent node? What is the left element left now? 100.
100 is the biggest one, yeah.
And this satisfy our mean heap condition that minimum value would be at the top, or the parent value will be always minimum than its children. Now it is satisfied. Again, same thing will happen if you will add something. Same rearrangement will happen. So now that how this rearrangement happens, that is the complex code that we need not to go actually, because that is like you all are like, and also starting from the scratch, right? Let's not make this heavy for you. So that's why what I did, I just wanted to show you using what your predefined library in Python. So if you see here, there is a library called heapq. So this all this logic that we just now discussed, it is written inside what? Heapq. And how to verify this is correct or not? Creating an empty heap. This is the heap. So heap means I am creating a list here to store the details. So in coding, we can draw the figures like this, right? So this is easy while explaining. This is index 1, this is index 2. But why I gave you the index number, this is going to make sense here. So what you need to do, the first child is at which index number? It should be at 1 index number. Then if I'm going to store the element in the list, then what will be at index number 1? That is my first left child. What will be at my index number 2? That will be my second left child. Because in code, if you are going to store the data, we can't draw this figure, right? You have to store it like in a list, like for a real world scenario. You have to store all these things in a list and make sure what is at the first index, that is the root node. What is at the second index, that is what? That is the left child of that root node. What is in the third index? 0, 1, 2. That means index equal to 2. That is the right child of that root index, root node. Are you getting? So
yeah, but how do we define if the heap is min heap or max heap?
So again, so the concept is I told you, like if I want to add something or I want to remove something, okay, what is the first item I'm going to remove? The first which is at first, right? So if I'll remove the first item here, which item is going to be removed? 10. That is the mean heap condition. But for max heap condition, what is the item it is going to remove? The maximum value. Let's try to understand this one, this heap q function. Now heap q function, or heap q module is having a heap push method. So this heap push method will take 2 arguments. What 2 arguments? The empty list you created and the number that you want to push to that heap. Right? So tell me, if I push 5, then I'll push 3, then I'll push 8, then I'll push 1, how the structures will look like? What should be at the top as per the mean height condition?
1,
1 should be at the top. What should be at the left child?
3,
3,
What should be the right child?
5,
5,
5,
What is the left child to
8.
this?
8 and 9.
8,
8, right? And the
9.
right child?
Right side will be 9.
9.
Done, right? Done, right? So this is how it should look like if we'll draw the diagram inside your head. But if you're going to store inside the list, then how it is going to be stored? This is first, this is 3, right? Then in the second index, what is going to store? In the list, if I'll store this, first 1, right? Then this is 0th index. This is first index. In the first index, what?
3,
In the second index, what I am going to store?
5,
5.
This is the second index, right? 5. Then third index, I am
8.
going to store 8. Then
9.
I'm going to store 9. So when you look like this list, it will look something like this: 1, 3, 5, 8, 9. Now, if someone directly look at this, they can't say it is a heap or tree. But this you need to understand. While going to store these numbers like this, you mark the index number where you're storing, and the index number is calculated using what? 2 into I plus 1 for left child, 2 into I plus 2 for right child. This is how the index number is getting calculated for the children. Okay, now once we
the binary tree, it should have 2 children. Like for each parent, no, it should have 2 children. But here, so 5, we don't have any children.
So now here 5 is called as a leaf to this tree.
Okay.
This is a leaf to the tree. 8 and 9 is the leaf to the tree.
Okay.
So when you don't have children, you are going to be called as leaf in the tree. Nice question. Okay. So what we did, we pushed this element, we now stored inside this with a list. Now if I will pop, so in this library, a predefined function written was called heap pop, not heap hop. Okay guys, heap pop. Okay, so now heap q dot, yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Here we created the one list heap that name we are given, or it is a
No, we are
predefined.
giving. We are giving. Heap
Okay,
new
that
also
heap queue is a class and heap push is a method for adding the elements, right?
correct,
That
correct,
heap
correct.
here we used this is what we created the variable
Correct.
name.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. Now this is also you can do, but you have to change all this heap to with heap new. Okay. Let's not change the name because I have to change in everywhere. Okay. Now after pushing the elements, what I am doing here, I am popping it. What I am popping? Can you tell me what this means? While heap.
It will remove the first position in the list.
No, don't go to this line. Tell me about this line. What we mean by while heap? What does this signify? While heap.
If it is asking, it's a minimum or
okay.
Then we have the elements in the heap list.
Till we have the element, correct. Till we have a single element of the list, you have to run this while loop. Once the heap list will empty, then this loop will be stopped. So when I say while heap, that means this is going to give me what? A Boolean value, true or false. So till it's true, that
so
means.
Can you comment it there while behind before while, after while it will heap, it will run, so that we can have a note.
I didn't get that. What I need to do?
You can comment no for better understanding.
Oh, okay. Here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So while heap means what? You tell, I'll write.
It will run for the heap values while. Yes, am I right, sir?
Heap list. It will run for
yes,
the heap
list.
And
until there are values.
Until there are values, right?
Okay.
Great, but I have not. Okay, I have to download it again and I'll save there. But yeah, if I miss this, if you will not get this comment, you please do yourself also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You got it now, right? So this will do till heap will have elements. Now run this loop and what? Define one variable called mean value and heap q dot heap pop method you have to call. And there what you are going to do, you are going to pass the whole list. So when I say something dot pop, then how many values are going out from that thing?
One value.
Right. So when I'll do this, one value will be popped out and I'm printing that value. Now let's see this. Okay, let's run this and let's see this. Now can you see here, when I say pop every time, that means run this loop every time and remove one item and print that item after removal. That's what we are doing here, right? This line is doing that. Now what is the first element? 1.
1.
What is the next highest element? 3.
The minimum value should be popped.
Pop first, because that is on the top. That is how the minimum heap concept is derived, right? The minimum should be at the top. Then whenever you are popping something, the minimum from all together values should be popped up first. So this is how it is going, like 1, then 3, then 5, then 8, then 9. Now can you tell me what you need to do in this code only? You need not to think about anything else, so that it will achieve the max heap condition. So then the max heap condition is what? Exactly same, but instead of mean, it should be maximum. Now tell me, think about 1 minute, okay? 1 minute, and using this piece of code, can we write max heap?
Yes, sir.
How?
The print minimum value we have given, no, minimum underscore value, we can give maximum value.
Okay, this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, this variable name is fine, but what the operation you have to change here, so that it will be converted to max heap than mean heap. Now what is happening in mean heap? What is happening in max heap? Exactly opposite thing, right?
Yes, sir.
When I say exactly opposite, that means we're considering minimum value at the top, but here we are considering maximum value at the top. So what we are going to do here, if I want to input the same thing and achieve the max heap result, what should I do here?
You can give negative values.
Negative values, but while printing, we'll print what? Positive values. And after this, what changes I need to do here?
Maximum.
This will be max. Okay, I'll change this to max value.
Use absolute value. Absolute value function.
Sorry?
You're going to print the positive value.
Absolute value. Correct. Absolute value only. I'm not going to print the negative values. But here also one modification you need to do. Now here, if you want to heap push the negative number, this list will contain what? Negative numbers. So guys, like I want to give one small example here. -1, -2, -3. Suppose this is the list. Okay. Now if I want to make all the elements positive, what I need to do?
Multiply by -1 is fine.
Great. So what I'm going to do, I'll give minus here. Will that work?
No.
No.
Not work? Then what?
Multiply the values inside.
Like this?
Yes, sir.
Will this
might work.
This print? So I'm going to use this logic here. Again, it is not coming. Any other suggestions?
Absolute value function you can use. Absolute value of.
We can add the minus to the elements of the list. -1 into minus mean, it will become +1.
So I just want to convert this list containing, so see, I am adding here, see the logic, why I'm doing here. I am adding the negative numbers. So do the negative numbers, it will do what? It will add this same logic, well, but now here, what is the value it is going to store at top from this?
Minus one. Minus one.
No, guys.
-9.
-9. That's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
put yeah. So here, if you want to convert this to max heap, you change the number sign to minus sign, right? And if you
Yeah.
do that, as per this logic, the lowest number will be at the top. Here, the lowest number is what? 9. Are you getting? Then -8. Now, what is the logic? I have to do something. So now this is got sorted, right? Now -9 is the top, then -8, then like this, right? Now my logic should be, I should write something. This whole list will be absolute value or positive number. Then when we pop that, when we call the pop method here, right? This will print what? First 9, then 8, right? Then 5. You are getting it, what I'm saying. Now it is again, guys, let's take this to you. I told you, okay, the logic here. Now the thing is, you have to think something where while returning, I should return the plus values of the list. Now this list contains negative value. When I'll pop, then I should return the positive value. Now how to achieve this, that is up to you. You tell me tomorrow. Okay, you tell me tomorrow, we are going to discuss this. Think about it, like it's like interesting. So by this,
Can we use for loop? So
you can do, but you do yourself and try it. Okay, let's not try here. This is I'm like going to, like, you take this, because this is how you will get in touch with this concept tomorrow also. Okay, that's what I mean. So two things will happen. First of all, you will get some understanding. Second of all, you will implement the max heap condition, max heap tree here. Two things will happen. Okay, so but if you see, those who really wants to deep dive into the complex code, please try to search the scratch code of this. You will get to know how this is working. It's a bit complex, but yeah, out of this context of this class, let's not do that. But you got an idea how to use the predefined library here for mean heap. That is your right.
So actually, now what you taught is clearly understandable. But when we apply in real-time situations, when we have coding, how do we know that we have to apply this condition here? How do we get to know, sir?
This is how you are. This is the task actually. This is the challenge, right? If everything will be falls into place easily. So, but to be honest with you, this depends actually your roles. What roles you are going for. Now, if you are going for ML operation role, you are not going to play with data structure, right? That means you have to see the system design. Now,
No,
if you
sir, I'm just that asking in coding. Coding situation, at what type of situations while coding, we have to use this type of conditions. Okay, like so
in coding, so this kind of question will come if you are going for the SD role for the companies. If you want, I'll give you the coding question also. Suppose you have been given, you will be given one max heap tree. Now you will be asked to remove a certain item from the tree and perform the sorting algorithm, so that the minimum
yes, sir, actually that is directly you are if the question is like this, we can directly understand that we have to use that heap conditions, minimum or maximum, like that. But like we have assessments, no sir, but it was like in real-time condition, we are the list is, we have so many lists, we have to do this and that conditions. At that time, in between the coding, we have to do this import heap queue or anything, any condition, let it be. But how do we know that? Can you get it, sir, what I'm asking?
No, I'm totally getting it. So whenever you get that question or this kind of question, it will go by practicing. There is no substitute about it. or there is like no one can tell you the secret and you will learn everything. The thing is, I don't, are you getting assessment on these heaps and the tree structure? Have you
No,
got,
no,
or
no. No, actually, yes, today it is a pop in assessment. Link is there.
pop is not related to tree or this concept. This is basically simple. So you are going to be given the task which is very simple, not like this trees and structure and all. This is the conceptual thing you need to clear. For coding, I don't think you are.
Excuse me, sir. Actually, what she is asking, we have assessment questions or somewhat hereafter we have assessment through this all modules. In this modules, do we get questions from these data structures or not, or else we learn the basic things here to study the ML or somewhat other advanced thing. For the learning of advanced thing, we have learned the basic here, like the way I think she is asking.
Okay. So to answer the first question, whether in assessment you will get this type of question or not, to be honest with you, I'm not sure about that. Okay, you have to tell me what type of question you are getting, whether this type of questions or not. Am I like, did I answer the first question that you just told, right? So that
No,
is,
so I'm not asking whether this type of questions will come, but I'm asking if we get some questions, how do we know that we have to apply this list type or the minimum heap, maximum heap data structure method we have to use? Like I'm asking this.
yeah, so see, that's what I'm telling you. Like it will be already mentioned to you. Use this heap or that heap, mean heap or max heap. If someone is going to give you the question on this. Right.
But how do we know, sir, this we have to use this heap condition there?
So it will be mentioned over there. So the thing what I'm saying is to you, once you practice the questions, you will get the idea. It will not come right now. You have the questions with you right now?
No, sir.
Yeah, so once you have the questions, no, then only you will get the idea. And after doing the questions only, you will get the answer. Because right now I can't create any question for you and give you this to do this work, what I taught just now. That's why I'm saying the assessment, what you are getting, please share with me, or anything related to this heap concept. So that
actually, as is this module which you are taking, the assessment has been enabled, but still we are didn't take the assessment. I mean, I didn't take the assessment for this module because this portion or content is not covered, right? So the mentor has advised us to not to take the assessments until the portion completes.
Yeah, definitely. So anyone who knows the assessment questions on this?
Actually, I took the assessment for module 1 and module 2. In that, it didn't cover with this. In that, the list, dictionary, tuple concepts, and ordinary input-output questions has been asked.
Okay.
That's
those,
like quite easy.
Okay, so those are understandable and you are able to do that, right? Those are easy. So now the question is, I got totally your point, guys. What you are saying, how to apply or how to understand when to use this heap mean or when to create the list or heap push you were going to call. I got totally.
Yes, sir. Yes, exactly.
So exactly. I totally got your question. Okay, so that will come by practice. That's what I'm saying here. Okay, do one thing. You do the assessment for this module. Now you got the concept of stack and the queue. Heap, binary tree. Now you try to do the assignments on that or assessment on that. You will get an idea what you need to do, and based on that we'll discuss. Is that okay?
Sir.
Yeah. Got your question. Like I'm getting what you are saying, guys. Okay. So I also went to the same page. Okay, please don't look. So what you are feeling also, I also went to the same thing, but you have to be patient here, bit. Okay, you have to wait till the right thing come to you. You will get it eventually. That I can assure you. Please don't worry. Just go with this concept once, and you will do this. Then you will be able to do the task. So do one thing. Once you get any questions on this, and you didn't understand or you understood also, let's share in the class. Okay, so that I'll also, because I'm, to be honest with you guys, I don't have access to your assessment. Okay, I don't know what type of questions you are doing. But yeah, if you can share few of them with me, then it will be good to understand whether what we are learning here, either that is helpful for you to solve that problem or not. I think that is your main objective of your question. Is that fine, guys? Okay, so okay, we have still half an hour, but we have lots of
Just 1
topic to
minute.
discuss. Yeah.
Like if we have any doubts, like can we reach out to you? Like,
yes. So after 2 hour session, we have a Q&A session. We can have a Q&A session, and if that is not possible, there is a technical team in Ruby who are there only for doubt clearing session. Okay, you can reach out to them if you like. Suppose like we have some time deficiency here or a time management thing. So there is a dedicated technical team. I don't know whether any or like you all are aware or not. At few times,
Yeah, like if we raise a query, they were just giving us a phone call, and then they were dropping in Google Meet link in that query itself, and then they were connecting through it, and we can choose the language itself also. So like I'm just talking to the Tamil peoples, and then getting
great.
the
I
things
didn't
done.
know this. Okay, so this is also I didn't know this. So okay, so a Google Meet is also in provided to you, so that we will have a one-to-one discussion. That's
Yeah,
great,
we
guys.
can share the screen, and then they were giving us the things like we can choose 3 languages: Tamil, Hindi, and English.
Great. And also one more thing I want to tell you guys, listening this from one person is okay, but listening the same concept from multiple person is better. This is my experience that I felt. Although this person is explaining you to as per his understanding, but if you listen or if you discuss with same thing with multiple person, then that clarity will grow. So that one-to-one discussion is really having some value, because we are learning here something. The same concept, when you are going to discuss with that person will tell you in another way. That make your thinking easy here. Because personally, I referred whenever any algorithm I didn't understand when I started, I referred at least 2-3 videos explaining from 2-3 people, same topic. Then only I'll get a clear understanding. Okay, this is happening. But do that. So whoever is asking whether like any query, this is a very good thing that I just now aware. Schedule a meeting with them. There is a technical team. What they told me, there is a dedicated technical team, and I think there was some scheduled time also where you can do all your doubt clearing sessions also. Something from Friday.
Yes, sir. It's from 4 to 6, Monday to Wednesday.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think from 7 to 9. It seems.
For code kata and then the programming skills, and also guys, we have to register it, then only they were providing us a link. If not, then they won't send us a link. So on each and every day of sessions like that code kata session and also that programming skill enhancement session, they'll give one Google form. If we have to fill out that form, then only we'll get the next upcoming week's session.
Right.
Link,
So please guys do that. Okay, you have all because when I started, I didn't have this much opportunity, guys, to be honest with you. So you have the privilege now. Please utilize it, because mentored by a single person, one-to-one mentorship is very rare. I didn't get that chance. I learned all these things from pre-recorded sessions. That also, like you have so many questions. At that time also, I had so many questions, but there is no one to ask, because my mentor started recording that and shared with me. So one-to-one conversation also very helpful. You guys are lucky. Okay, so apart from that, let's back to our topic, or else like we won't be able to complete today. The time complexity of this data structure. Okay, let's first come to the space complexity. So here's space complexity is order of n. What does that mean? That means we are going to store all the elements in the system's memory. That's why it's order of n. So n means the elements, number of elements you are going to use inside this structure, data structure, heap or mean heap or max heap. This is clear, right? Now, what is the, when we call the push and pop operation, what is the time complexity we can achieve here? This is order of log n. And why it is so? Because we are traversing from root to the leaf, depth wise. And here is one part, here is one part. Left and right concept. That means 2 to the power. So the number of elements, then we dividing it from the to the left, 2 half. We are dividing this into 2 half, right? We are getting it, right? 2 half, left and right. So because of that concept, when you are traversing, when doing a pop or push, we are traversing from the root to the leaf. So while going to the root to the leaf, this complexity is coming under the number of elements, logarithmic of this number of elements that you have in the. So which is better, order of log n or order of n?
Log n.
Right. So that's why also this data structures are like, why we're learning this, because this has disadvantages. If we use this structure to store the data, there's a possibility that whatever may be the number of elements that you are going to store inside the data set, lots of presents are there, lots of severities are there. So by this way, if you want to retrieve the details, you will do it in a quicker time, rather than if you store all the values or all the severity details of a patient in a list, then you iterate over the list to find the maximum severity. Then we'll take care of that situation. So can you think here, storing all these things in a list and storing all these things in a tree. Now, storing all these things in a list, that is order of n, but storing all these things in a tree is order of log n. That means if you need this, you will get the value quickly. Okay, there is another last concept in data structure, guys, that is called queues. So queues is like same as stack, but fast in, fast out, FIFO principle. FIFO principle, that means what? That means you consider queue as a pipe. So stack, I gave the example as a bucket, right? You consider queue as a pipe. You insert something here, it will come outside here. So first in, first out. Second in, second out. This is called FIFO principle. First in, this is another type of data structure called queues. Okay, so same logic we are going to use what we did for a stack, but here the terms that I'm going to use is a bit different. Here, when I'm going to add some item, I am going to call that method as called enqueue. When I'm going to remove something, that is called dequeue. Now here is one important concept here, guys. Okay, I'll explain. So this is explainable, self-explainable. Class name is queue, constructor method is empty, right? Then enqueue means append the item, that is same as stack. Can you see what is the difference in, like, what is the difference between pop method in stack and dequeue method in queue?
Yeah,
In
both
stack,
do the
we are
same thing.
checking. We are checking the stack is empty or not. Here,
one, yeah, that is one. So
actually, so in a DQ method, after eliminating the first play element in the list, it will provide the queue. Other elements of the list.
Okay.
Here there is first in a heap method, first element was taken. I mean, removed. Here, after removing the first element, others are displayed.
Okay. That is making sense. But here you can see one small difference. Here inside the pop, I am using an index called 0. And why is that?
The first element should be removed.
First element should be removed.
Yes, because this is FIFO principle. First element should be removed first, not the last element. So for stack, you are removing the topmost position because that is the last element. LIFO means last in, first out. So FIFO means first in, first out. So whatever item you are going to store inside this list at first, that should be removed first. So that's why at the index number 0, whatever item is present, if I'll call this method DQ, that item is going to be removed. And when I'm going to pick inside it, what is the item I should see first?
First element.
Not the last item, first item, what I inserted at first, that should I see. Are you getting the conceptual thing between LIFO and FIFO here? So here last item is the top one. Here first item is the top one.
First top.
Yeah. So to remove the first item, I use the index 0. That means whatever they are in the list at the first position, it will be removed. And if we will pick this, the next item to this will be visible to me. Now let's do this with example, because this is now like similar to the stack only, but few conceptual difference. Now what I need to do, I call what? Call this. Let me run this class first. Then I created what? Q as the object or variable name, and I call this function. Class. Q class. So what I did here, I created the object.
And Ashish, sorry to cut you off. Like in the class queue, like after initiating the constructor, like we were not passing any arguments because this values will be stored into that list once like we were giving the values, then we can perform all this, right? Because of that only we were not giving any arguments out there.
Yeah, because this is not necessary to give any argument, because anyway we are defining an empty list inside it.
Okay.
And we are storing that all the elements inside that list only. So that means not necessary to give any argument here. So that's why it is empty now.
Okay.
And what is the push method here? Called NQ, right? That means appends item. So I called the NQ method, q.nq, and I added item 10, 90, 6. Now tell me, if I add 10 here and 90 here and 6 here, what the order it should be stored? What item should be at first?
10, 96.
10, 90, and 6. And if I'll remove this, first this should be removed, then this should 90, be removed, then this should be removed.
96.
Right. Let's do that. Let's try to understand that. Where is my cursor? Oh, okay. I call the DQ method. Let me run it, okay? If I call the DQ method, what is the first item? Removed 10. What is the next item removed? 9. What is after removing, I'm calling another thing called size. So what is the size method is returning to me?
The length of the list we have.
Yeah, the length of the list that we have. So if I call that method, what I'm getting after removing, so I added 3 items, I removed 2 items. So what is the length of the list? That is 1.
1.
So in this way, you can define your own queue data structure. You can define your own stack data structure, heap data structure. So these are the types of data structure and their applications. Now, what is the application of this queue data structure, guys? Park, ticket counter. That means whoever comes first, that person should get the ticket, right? So if you manage that kind of situation, you have to follow the queue data structure so that the first come first service you can ensure. Call centers. In call centers also this applicable, where incoming calls are placed in a queue until they can be answered by an agent or support representative. The customer who call first, your job is to respond to that person first, not the person who like called after some time. Making sense, right? These applications.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now last 15 minutes, I want to complete few things. Memory management. This is very simple, guys. This is nothing complex here. You just need to understand how you are going to perform it. Because in your schedule, if you see, there is something called comments, okay? Comments and docs. So this we already cover if you recollect. So what do you mean by comments?
This will help us to understand the coding, like how the things were working. Yeah.
Right. And the docs, while you define a
Docs.
function, you need to write something in triple quotes to explain what that function is. Yeah. So this thing. So we already covered these things, guys. So only this simple theory that you need to understand. Okay. So first of all, how to do a efficient memory management. Okay. How to do a efficient memory management here. So what we need to do here? First of all, use the objects wisely. So we saw we are creating the class, right? And we are creating the objects. So whenever we are creating the objects, what we are doing actually? We are occupying some space inside our memory. Because we are declaring one variable, then we are creating the object by calling the class. So that variable is going to take some memory in the system. Right? So we need to be careful while creating objects. We should not be create unnecessary objects. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing, especially when creating large objects such as lists and dictionary, consider using generators or iterator functions instead of creating large objects in the memory. Now, what does this mean? This example is the meaning. So, and we already seen this, guys. You guys already seen this. I know you will able to tell now. Now, see, I am defining a list. Okay, and it is how I'm going to define list equal to then this format, and I am going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. But this is not the feasible way to do this. If you want to save the memory or make it memory efficient, you use the generator or iterator function. What do you mean by generator function? This range function is an example of generator function, isn't it? Because writing this and using a range equal to 10 will do the same thing. It will generate numbers from 1 to 10. So instead of so if you want to print 1 to 10 number, instead of writing this, define a list, then add 10 elements, then write a for loop, okay, then go through each element and print that. Instead of that, if you write this for I in range 10 and print I, what is the benefit we are going to get?
1 to 10.
Yeah.
0 to 9.
Yeah.
0 to, no,
Yeah.
0 to 9.
Okay, guys, let's see. Okay, so 0 to 9, that is fine. But what is the benefit we are getting here?
We are getting the list.
We are getting the list, but without defining it here like this.
Here.
Okay, because here we are occupying some space by creating this variable, by assigning numbers from 1 to 10. Here I made ... That's why it is not running. So this means because of this, it is you are achieving same thing. You want to print the results of this list, right? So instead of saving this like in this format in a variable, if we'll use a generator, then that is more efficient than creating an object and save the values to it. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one thing. So these things you need to understand. Use the right data types. That means actually, if you will do some research on this, you will get to know the data types. The integer data types is storing different memory or some memory, and the float data type is also storing some memory in terms of bytes, because inside our computer, how this is going to be stored? In
zeros
bytes.
and ones.
Yeah. So when I say bytes, so integer is going to take some bytes value, float is also going to take some bytes value. Okay, so that's why you need to be careful or you need to be efficient while doing the memory management, choose the right data types. If it is really necessary to use integer inside your project, use it. But if it is not necessary to use integer, instead of that, use float, because the meaning will be same, but the memory occupied by float objects will be less than the memory occupied by decimal objects. This is also one thing you need to keep. Now, this also depends, guys. This also depends on your operating system, the environment that you are using. So many things are there. But the topic we're telling you is, do the research if you want to do the memory management. See which data type is taking less memory, use that data type. And one more, use a delete function to delete. So whenever we are creating the variable and our work is done, we need to delete that variable, because while creating the variable, it is taking some space or taking some memory inside our system. By deleting it, it will free up the space, or it will free up the memory it was using. Now, those who are know about garbage collection. Do you know what is a garbage collection? The name itself is explaining this.
Like deleting the deleted things or variables will be stored in garbage collection.
Like you can think in this way.
Is it like a recycle bin or what?
Correct.
Yes.
Like that.
Recycle bin.
Correct.
Yes.
And you can also consider this cache and this history of browsing history and those things, right? Those are also creating unnecessary memories inside your system. Like I'm just giving
cache. Get it?
Cache and
clear
this,
caches.
Yeah, so those things also need to clear to free up the memory. In phones and Android phones also, there is some app like this will boost your RAM by launching a rocket. So what is that doing?
Yes, sir. Clearing up space.
Correct. Same thing. So here also in Python, there's a garbage collector, built-in garbage collector module, which you can call with gc.enable. If you do this, this will automatically clears your garbage or unnecessary objects that is using the memory. And again, instead of writing the code from the scratch, use the predefined libraries that was designed to do the same work only. Because by importing those libraries, you need not to create the code from the scratch, define the variable, assign the numbers. Again, you are occupying the memory. But these libraries is not designed by some they are by experts. Okay, they made those libraries in such a way that is memory efficient. So by using this library, you are going to use less memory only, instead of writing the code from the scratch. So this NumPy, Pandas, these are these are actually, what these are the skills that you need to going to put in your portfolio or CV. Because if you're going for the data specific role, NumPy and Pandas is like a must-having skills you have to showcase to the potential recruiters.
So Ashish, one second, sorry to interrupt you. See, like when we have libraries for all the specific kind of tasks, so what is the use of me then? What is my role?
So your role is, this is kind of a raw materials is given to you. Now, how to use this raw material and create something beneficial for your organization, that is your job.
Okay.
Now suppose you know how to play with CSV file using Pandas. Now in your work environment, you only better know how the data are stored in the CSV file. Now once you know how to use Pandas for CSV file, you implement that in your work environment. Or once you if you complete the course, there is a model building scenario, right? While you train the model, you can utilize NumPy and Panda. You can utilize the model training, and you can showcase this work inside your work. That okay, I can predict something for you based on our data. because you know your data better rather than anyone, right? This is your work environment. So the thing is, you have to tell people that you know these things, NumPy, Pandas, you have already having the exposure and you have the ability to use this inside your work environment.
So Ashish, can I say, like, say, for example, in chemistry, in a chemical reaction, we use a catalyst to complete the reaction. So these libraries are like the catalyst. Am I wrong or correct?
Exactly. Correct. You are totally correct. So this library will boost your productivity. That's what you are saying here.
Yes.
Like we are having the spare parts of a bike and we have to assemble the bike. Right.
Correct. Again, same. So whether you are going to make it a bike or car or aeroplane, that is up to you. Okay. So that is up to you. Good. Nice examples. So one last thing, guys, okay, because we are running out of time and I know people will go to office. There is a library called sys, okay, and there is in that library or module sys, there is a method called get size up to measure the object size. Okay, so you can, so like most of the time you are not aware which object is taking more memory, right? To know which objects are taking more memory, you can use this function, which I have given one example here. I just wanted to show you the memory size that we are taking for decimal and float value. This is the code here. Okay.
So Ashish, say for example, if I have a text file or some file, XLS file on my desktop, right click, I go to properties, there I can see the file size. No, why I have to do all this? This is like Windows terminology.
No. File size is different. Here we are not talking about files. Here we are talking about objects.
Okay.
When you are creating an object from the class, as per your requirement, those objects are going to get some memory. So you can delete all the objects, right? So you have to choose which objects to delete so that at least you will get some free space. So there, use this library to find out which object that you created from your class is taking more memory. And if that is not necessary, you take the proper approval and you delete that object.
So Ashish, is there any upper limit, like this much file size it should be there for a particular task like that? Do you have any convention like that?
Not that I am aware. Actually, if you think this, it will depend upon your working domain. Like,
project requirements and all those, right?
Like
That
how
BA
much
guy will give you you have to do this, you have to do that.
So here we are talking about a whole system, including all people. So the answer.
Yeah, and also like when I'm talking about BA, like in whenever the data scientist also will be in there, the BA role is also going to be there, right? Like the BA role will be there, and then the data analyst will be there. Like because the DA is also able to, like DSK is also able to do the BA role, right? So we won't replace that BA role. Like BA will be there, and we will do our jobs. Right?
Yeah, that is exactly, because see, business analyst is something different. He is like not only working for the company, also he is looking at the customers, the business. Okay. And by looking at the customer and business, he is suggesting something. But that's why his role is also very important. So you are doing the data analysis. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure like whether like we're running out of time, but I have to tell this. This data scientist role that we're talking about, it is kind of a thread connecting multiple roles.
Okay.
If you talk about a garland in your neck, the data scientist is the thread of all the flowers. It is going to be connection between everyone.
Okay. So like the business analyst to everybody.
Business analyst, data analyst, okay, data engineer. That's why you are learning everything here.
Okay.
So that you will understand what you can, and like you are working one role in your company. After this course, you have that confidence to upgrade yourself to another role, because you know the things. I know how the data is coming. I know how to store the data inside the database. I know how to play with the data and get the meaningful insights. You can tell everything end to your organization. That depends on you. Again, your same example that you gave. You have to create the bike or car. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. Let's so guys, I am not going to explain this to you right now. because this is a simple piece of code to showcase that the float is taking less memory than decimal. Do I need to explain this right now, or you will get it? Or can you go through it quickly and see what you are not able to understand?
Input system, we were importing the library, and from the decimal, like you know,
we are importing the decimal number just to showcase.
From the decimal library, we are importing the method called decimal.
Right.
Okay. So that's not a data type. Like the decimal was not a data type. It's just an module from a library.
So this is actually a function, okay, and this is the module. So if you see here, two things we are writing: either import something, or we are writing from this import something. So when I say from this is the parent class, okay, and from the parent class I am not importing all the methods or all the functions. I am only importing the specific decimal function or the decimal method.
Okay. So
Here
decimal.
Importing sys means along with sys class, import all the methods associated with sys. This is also one good example for memory efficiency, because you are not going to use other methods of decimal class, only the decimal method here. So the method that you only require, import that thing. Don't import everything. Okay, please, Dinesh, can you please again? Okay, after this, can you tell what is this one?
Yeah, we were using that function define, like we were defining the function over there, and then we were passing the argument as a data. And then if it is a function, we should have a return value, so that we were using return, and the system, we have function like size, sorry, system dot get size of, which is a method in the system library, so that we can get the size of the object or variable that we were using.
Great, yeah.
And yeah.
This, what is this? I'll explain this. So this is to convert to what? Megabytes. MB. So the object size to convert to MB. So what is the like 1000 bytes is equal to 1 KB, right?
1001, no 1024, like 1 byte.
So it's like 1000. Consider this as 1000, not 1024. Like to be specific, this is 1024. So that means 1024 bytes will be 1 kilobytes. Okay, and 1000 kilobytes will be 1 megabytes. That is the MB.
Yeah.
Okay. To convert this size of the data, so these are in bytes. To convert this to megabytes, I divided into 1000 into 1000, or 1024 into 1024. 1024 is for what? Convert bytes to kilobytes. Another 1024 is for what? 1000 kilobytes to megabytes. Okay, so this is a small conversion. If you don't convert this also, that is fine. You are going to get some number here, right? You just need to compare. So what I did, after I define this function, I pass a float number to this function as a data. So if I pass a float number, what it will do? It will give me the size of that float number in terms of MB. Similar thing I did, I passed the same value, but using decimal function. That means I converted this float value to decimal. Then after converting, I passed to this function. And again, I captured the size of that data in terms of MB.
Okay, so if you want to get that in KB, we can just leave it with 1024, right?
Yeah, correct.
Get it.
If you want to KB, then you need to do this. But here you have to write in the printing statement this KB.
Okay, get it.
Okay, so if you see here the results, shall I run this again? Which one is larger?
Decimal.
So this is also one type of thing that you can explore. And here you can say by using floating point, it is going to use like, less memory. So if there is no specific indication whether you need to use integer, float, or decimal, you go for float. That's what the thing is here. Now, okay, it's 11:04, guys. So guys, is it okay that only like this much only left? can we see the naming convention is also very easy. Naming convention means how you need to give the variable name. There is different kind of naming convention. One is camel case, one is snake case. And when to use camel case, when to. So shall we continue tomorrow? That is okay, because I know like people have started leaving for office. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll cover this part and then we'll go to the next topic. So only dry code and naming convention left that we'll cover tomorrow. Then guys, tomorrow session will be interesting. It is data frame, okay? Pandas.
Pandas, okay. Pandas is for data frames, and then that MongoDB is kind of a database kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So
So
after,
what is this like data frame and database? Like I can understand database, like SQL, PLSQL, all those, and jQuery and all those stuffs will be there in database. So what is data frame actually?
data frame, like see.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt you. We are showing the concept queue now. That I'm having one doubt, sir. After completing session, we'll ask like the way I have
session is completed now.
Okay.
I'm not going to cover any new topic. We'll go back to that queue, right? Queue that you said.
Yes, queue.
Okay. So I'll come to your question, Dinesh. Just let's answer her question. Yeah. So this queue.
Yes.
Yeah.
That here queue, we are defining a class and that initialize that self method. That self dot items now we have not given any attributes to the init method, right? That here we using self dot items equal to empty lists we have created. That item is a method or that predefined word, or we have
this one.
created
This one. This one.
Yes.
Yeah. So self dot item is the empty list that we defined first. And here we are returning whether the list is empty or not. We define an empty list. Then using this method, we added.
Okay. I got that we are using the dot items now. First, when we created the class self. After that, we have attributes. We have here we have initialized the attributes. Self dot name equal to name, like the way we have created. Here we have not given any names or attributes over here, but we are using that items here. I am asking, is this is a predefined word or we have created over here?
Okay, got it. I got your question. So we didn't give any argument here, right? And if you see here, we are creating a variable. This is a variable name, self.items. We are creating it.
Okay.
We are creating this self.items, and here using that variable, we are checking, not anything else. If you see self.items only.
Okay. And okay, can I ask one more question? When we learn the file concept, I am also do all those things, but I can't be able to remove the contents in the list. When I give that, it will show the error.
Please share your screen. Please quickly share your screen.
Yes, please.
So that we can debug quickly.
I don't know.
No worries, take your time.
Okay. Actually, I have did before 2 to 3 days. I don't know where is it.
No.
And also, like as a suggestion, like if we having any doubts or we were encountering anything, like we can just get into there, and then if we are dropping a query, they'll just call us calling us back within 1 hour hardly. So that it hardly 1 hour. And also, like I've become a friend of one guy in GUI, so that he was saying like, okay, if you have any query, just drop it and then drop me a message on WhatsApp. I'll just create a meet and then we'll clarify it.
No, that's why the concept of one-to-one mentorship, guys, because you have to be friendly. We all are working professional here. No one is a student or something.
In a Zen portal, we have to book that. Is it right?
Yeah. In that Zen portal, it's easy though.
Oh, okay.
So meanwhile, I'll try to answer your data frame question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just check, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check
keep
it.
Keep checking. I'm explaining to you. So the data frame is like itself is the concept, like the name itself is suggesting like when you frame the data, are you getting what I'm saying here? You have to frame the data like a photo frame, right? So when you frame your data in terms of columns, rows, Okay, in a user readable manner. Like when you see that, you'll observe, okay, this is my data, this is the columns, these are the rows.
Okay, so data frame is a Excel which will help us to store the data in a format, and the database is a storage location which will help us to store the data frames, right?
Correct.
Okay, so data base, like inside of database, the data frame will be there. Like not in the data frames, the data will be there, right?
Correct. So that means whatever you are doing using Excel, inside Excel you are doing writing some query, you can do it better in Python.
Okay. So what my understanding on these days, like I've thought database, like database is a main topic, and in between that the data frame is coming. Like now only I'm understanding that data frame is a like type A, and then the database is a type 2, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
So lots of things going.
totally.
See, lots of things going to change, guys. Once you complete this course,
okay,
and you look back, you'll think that you'll. But the way you guys are explaining the code to me, and the first day when you started from the scratch, you see these things difference. Also, there's a lot of difference, and this is just the starting. Because I'm really glad to see that why you guys like how you guys are explaining the code one by one. Okay, so this is a very achievable thing. Like I almost took 1 to 1.5 months to go for Python coding when I started, because anyway, like there was no one to guide me or took a one-to-one session. I did all by myself. But yeah, but those time you saved, okay, and you now you are onto the pace. So keep it up. So who is Divya? Did you?
Hi, yes, sir. Shall I share my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it visible?
Yes.
Here, I am trying to remove the one line from the file, but I got error.
Okay, can you show me the whole code again? Scroll up.
Yes.
Okay, you opened a file with write mode, that is text1.txt as f. F.write you did lines addition. F.write you did second line addition. Okay, then see. Write that. Okay, let me go through it. With open text. So while you're opening text.txt, it is text1.txt, right? While
actually,
see,
yes,
the
it's
fourth
text
line.
one only.
No, fourth line.
Yeah, okay, sir. Sorry.
So this is okay. F then lines equal to so that's what it is. Can you run now?
Yes.
It will take 10 more seconds to connect. Then I think now, okay, let me go to list, remove this one, then append. Now it is coming?
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, so happens
remove.
Like small.
Yeah, and also in this compiler thing, it'll be like 70% of time it will be accurate, like where the errors will comes and where the errors will occurs. But sometimes there is no like in from C itself, I'm facing the same issue. Like the error will be on somewhere, and the pointer out will be on somewhere. Like
no, it is actually diving down to the backend, guys. It's not like the error you need to see in your line. There is some backend function written inside Python, right? So it is also showing that path as well. Maybe we will be not able to understand, but who are like totally into the development role of Python, they will be able to grasp it. You have to go to the source code of Python library to find that. That is also one. Okay, so that has some meaning. It's not like that. Okay. So any other questions, or we'll wind up the session?
Okay, thank you.
I have one question, sir.
No. Oh yeah. Please ask.
Like I asked you yesterday, so like if I want to open a file that is there in other path, not the content of the Google.
Yeah. You were asking the same yesterday, right?
Yes. I tried, but I'm not. It so shows that the file does not exist.
Please share your screen. We'll sort it out immediately. Okay.
Like I can just show you in the directory like how that file is.
No. Here you are running this code in Google Colab, right?
Yes, in Google Colab. I want to
so
choose a file from my my system where it is
you have to
located.
you have to upload that file from your system to Google Colab first.
Oh, okay.
So do that. In the left hand side there is a file option. Left hand side column.
Okay.
No, not that
Upload
one.
No,
No,
here,
not that.
here.
Below to that, search, then below to that, yeah, below to that, again below to that, yeah, that one, click. So here if you see, here all your files is going to be listed. So now if you see, it's going to connect it to the server. Now once the server is connected, this will look something like this. Now if you see the files option first option, yeah, that one. No, below to that, yeah, that option. If you click that,
Okay.
to upload that file to this Google Colab first.
Okay, so from the file wherever I've stored in my system, that should be uploaded here to the Colab, and then it should be accessed. And this path should be given.
This so automatic. You need not to give the path. Just file name. This will pick it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So anything else? Okay.
No,
Okay, guys.
Sir,
yeah.
Last question, sorry.
Yeah,
so you
sure.
said like the time complexity would be less for heap when compared to the other data structures other than queue or stack, because it is logarithmic of n.
Yes. So when I say that, correct. You are correct.
So heap means it applies to both. It's min heap and max heap. Both are like it consumes less time when compared to the other data.
Right. Correct. Both.
Okay.
Mean and max.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll wind up, guys, and see you tomorrow then.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, Ashish. Have a good day. Have a good day, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you.